Proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. Doctor's Hospital, peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. And Cayman Airways, call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. Kirk Market, experience a world of choice. JN Money, from abroad to Yad. And Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
We ask our listeners and viewers to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Live from Radio Cayman Studio.
This is For the Record with ORRETT Connor.
Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you.
For the Record.
Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
With ORRETT Connor.
Informative, impartial, insightful. This is For the Record. And now, your host, ORRETT Connor.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees so fair. Today is September the 3rd, 2025, right here in the beautiful Cayman Islands. We do hope and we trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable evening. Those of you who are on our roads, we urge you to please be extremely cautious, whether you're a pedestrian, a cyclist, or if you're operating any type of motorized vehicle. Also, schools are now open, which means more traffic on our roads, or youngsters are either walking to school, biking to school, or being transported via school bus, or family members' private vehicles, or friends. So ensure that you are extremely cautious out there. Based on the numbers that we are seeing, it does not appear as if the motor vehicle accident rates in the Cayman Islands are going down any at all. And the more vehicles that we have on our roads, the more new drivers that we have, if we can call them drivers, the more of those we have on the road, the higher the likelihood of increased number of accidents as well. So please be careful out there. If you know that you can't handle the roads and the traffic, stay off the roads. Have someone else drive you. And if you're having someone else drive you as well, you want to ensure that they drive, cautiously as well, because it sometimes is very difficult to feel comfortable out there when you're a passenger in a vehicle as well. So please ensure that you observe the rules of the road, because the life you save may just be your own. For those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, or if you've celebrated one over the past few days, we want to wish you a happy birthday or a happy belated birthday, whichever is applicable. And to remind you that, for the record, birthday shout-outs brought to you by Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola available across the Cayman Islands. You should accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Those of you who have lost loved ones, we want to extend our sincere condolences to you. We hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these extremely challenging times, and that the memories of your loved ones will be a blessing. Those of you who are ill and are either at home or at a medical facility here in the Cayman Islands or overseas, we want to wish you a speedy recovery again this morning. Big shout out to our colleague here at Radio Cayman, Mr. Joel Wilson as well. Big shout out to him. So, folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman and by extension For the Record into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I am your host, ORRETT Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that period, our phone lines are open. We have a toll-free number which has been provided courtesy of Flow. That toll-free number is 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037, 949-6990. WhatsApp number 925-3261. So let's look at the birthday shout-outs brought to you by Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola available across the Cayman Islands. You should accept no substitutes. Share a Coke with someone special. So we see Miss Janice Tatum celebrating a birthday today. Janice Tatum celebrating a birthday today. Also, Justin French celebrating a birthday, and Sharon Chuck celebrating birthday today. We have also been asked, Nicola Ebanks Collette's also celebrating a birthday tomorrow. And we've been asked to send birthday greetings to Lennox Henry. The greetings are coming from his wife, Sheila Minzet Henry, children and grandchildren as well. So, Mr. Lennox Henry, happy birthday greetings going out to you. They're coming from your wife, Miss Sheila Minzet Henry, children and grandchildren as well. Also, we have been asked to send birthday greetings to grandson Delroy Irvin III. Happy belated birthday. Yesterday was his birthday, the 2nd of September. These greetings are coming from Grandma Ruth James, also from uncles, aunts, auntie, your cousin, and brothers. Mom Raquel James, and stepdad Warina Weiss. And I trust and pray that you enjoy your special day, and may God continue to always bless you as well. And I believe that covers all of them. Let me make sure that I do know. Here we have another one. We would like to send birthday shout-outs to Deborah Parsons. Her birthday is today. Miss Deborah Parsons' birthday today. Birthday greetings are coming from the Brown family and her mother, Mrs. Mary Viola Brown. She's Cayman's oldest living person at 103 years old. That is Miss Viola Brown, who is 103 years old. And the birthday greetings are going out to Deborah Parsons, whose birthday is today. I see, and someone else is typing something. Once that comes in, we may have something to do with a birthday, and I will share that with you as soon as it is received. Meanwhile, we see some notifications sent out by the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service. This one is extremely important because we continue to see more and more of this occurring in Cayman as well, and it has to do with stolen e-bikes. We know that many people in the Cayman Islands, many persons in the Cayman Islands are a little bit upset about these e-bikes and the way that they are used and operated. Be that as it may, on Thursday night, the 28th of August, responded to a report of suspicious activity at a residential complex in the Grand Harbor area of Georgetown. It was reported that a male was tampering with bicycles at the location. Officers attended the location and observed a male in a wooden area with a number of electric bikes believed to be stolen. Wow, a number of electric bikes, not just one, but several, believed to be stolen, partially hidden in vegetation on the property. The male, age 17, folks, take note of the age 17, residing in Georgetown, was spoken to by officers and subsequently arrested on suspicion of handling stolen goods. The bikes were recovered by police. Early the next day, police received a report of theft of 2 electric bikes. Officers made checks and identified 2 of the bikes recovered the previous night as the stolen e-bikes. They were processed and handed over to the owners. The matter remains under investigation. So there we see incidents of stolen property, more and more of it going on. You heard me last week talk about the theft of automobiles as well. Something in my days growing up, was unheard of in the Cayman Islands. People would say, you steal a motor vehicle, where in the world are you going to go with it? Where are you going to hide it? Well, these days, motor vehicles are stolen for multiple reasons, including someone wanting to or planning to commit a crime and want to use a vehicle that, when identified, does not tie them, to the particular crime. In this day and age, also with so many imported vehicles, they're stolen and scrapped for parts, as well. That's a big, huge industry here in the Cayman Islands. And of course, youngsters as well, simply for joy riding. It is unfortunate, but that can be chalked up as the price that we pay for quote unquote what do we call it? That the Cayman Islands is moving forward. Progress. Yeah, that's the price we pay for progress as well. More crime, quite possibly. Quality of life being degraded as a result of it. So that is why, in this day and age, our current government, while at the same time wanting to ensure that our finances are on a stable platform, has a stable foothold, we still have to ensure that we concentrate on those areas of national security. And while we understand the need to, if not cut, to put a hold on filling positions, those that involve national security and the safety of the people of the Cayman Islands, we have to ensure that we think twice before any changes are made there. Those critical areas, those areas that are essential for the people of the Cayman Islands to continue to function as well. We're going to go to a commercial break. We have a caller on hold. We will take that caller as soon as we return. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, he hath founded it upon the seas.
Heber Elroy Arch, 1898-1993.
Elroy Arch was born in Georgetown, the second child of James Heber and Virginia Arch. He was a man of many talents: preacher, politician, building contractor, shipwright, butcher, and farmer. With his father and brothers, he built many of the sailing ships whose names are still remembered, including the Wilson, Goldfield, Adams, and Arbutus. The schooners built in the Arch shipyard were used by Caymanian seamen for turtling in the Mosquito Keys and to bring cargo from the foreign ports. Mr. Elroy served as a member of the Assembly of Justices and Vestry from 1939 to 1954. When visitors from the United States discovered Cayman as a vacation destination, Mr. Elroy built the first winter homes and the first hotel on 7 Mile Beach. He and his wife, Bride Nee Bodden, had 2 children. Mr. Elroy had a wealth of knowledge about Cayman's history and loved to tell the stories told to him by his parents and grandparents, and taped many of these accounts for the National Trust and National Archive and the National Museum.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
It's a sizzling summer with JN Money. You can win a luxury weekend getaway for 2 when you send or receive money from now until September 30, 2025. That's right. We're turning up the heat this summer with JN Money. Visit www.jnmoneyonline.com to learn more about how to win. What are you waiting for? Send, win, relax this summer with JN Money.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite band-aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. But don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Shipping to the Cayman Islands is fast, reliable, and seamless thanks to Cayman Airways Cargo. Need it faster than ocean freight? Cayman Airways Cargo offers multiple cargo flights to Grand Cayman from Miami weekly, so your packages, whether big, small, or in between, will arrive in no time. You can even use a Cayman Airways Cargo US address for your online shopping. Cayman Airways Cargo is also the only carrier providing air freight services for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Contact us today and see why Cayman Airways Cargo was voted as Cayman's best cargo and logistics company in the Best of Cayman Awards. For details, visit caymanairways.com/cargo.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
This summer, happiness is better when you share it. Coca-Cola invites you to share a Coke with someone special. Grab an ice-cold Coke and find a name. Maybe theirs, maybe yours, maybe a surprise. Because nothing says you matter like sharing a smile and a Coke. So who will you share a Coke with today? Find your name, find your friends, and share a Coke. Available now. Stores island-wide.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We do have a caller. Let's grab the caller. Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Oh, I'm here in this traffic. Unbelievable. And you should see the face expression on the driver's face. Oh, my God. The patience. The stress out here, OC, is unbelievable. I'm just driving and observing. But I didn't call you for that.
Okay.
I just want to say, OC, you know, it is good to know that we got the radio stations that we can call and talk, complain, and so forth, and to hear our voices throughout the island, and people is saying, "Oh, I heard you on the radio," or blah 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I don't think half the time that we come to really complain. It's just that so much things is happening that we need to talk to somebody. You know, So it's like the airways is the ideal place for it to a degree, depending on what you want to talk about. But the new road, I don't know what we call it, road bypass that they're going to open temporary up there in the Newlands, going up to what that is, Low Valley.
It comes out on Shamrock Road near Agricola Drive. Right.
I drove in there yesterday, and they're putting down these lights. And they said they want to open on the 4th, I think it is. And
that's
what I gathered yesterday, they had like over 20 other lights to be put down again as they continue going up, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the light seems to be so much smaller than these LED lights that you see has out here. So plus they only got the road. What you call spray?
Chip and spray. Yeah, chip and spray.
Chip and spray for now. But, see, just about on every side, left-hand side and right-hand side, there's a ditch of water, and it's pretty high. What are they going to put alongside of this, on the side of the roads, and how late are they expecting people to drive on that road? Because then it's a dangerous road.
I think the minister said that by the end of the year that they should be able to transition over to having it properly paved. But in the interim, they are, just opening it up so that they can, traffic situation can be relieved somewhat. Now, several persons have expressed to me their concern about the number of accidents that are likely to take place on there when we take into consideration the way that people are driving on our roads and the fact that the surface will be chip and spray, which means that it is not as stable in terms of gripping the road. And
So are they going to put a light up on up there on the road to let traffic in and out there?
That's going to be a roundabout. That's a roundabout.
No. I'm talking about going up east. When you come out there by agriculture grounds.
That's going to be there's going to be a roundabout there.
They got to put a roundabout there?
Yes.
And they got one down here now in Newland, right?
Yeah, they already started work on the roundabout there at Agricola Drive.
Oh, my God. What an accident to happen, because there's so many I see that could happen already there at Newlands. They're saying give way. And here you are, supposed to be giving way, and they are still coming. It's like they're not even paying the sign no mind.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to be pretty dangerous. Like what I'm talking about, the ditches that is on both sides. What are they planning on lining off there temporary until they can get this road to what they want to get it to?
Well, I think, I understand your concerns about safety, but the responsibility also has to be placed on the shoulders of drivers as well. In terms of they know the condition of the road that it is in, and they should then, observe caution when driving on the roads, knowing the condition. And under normal circumstances, I would imagine that those areas where the ditch is, they're likely to put guardrails there. But this is only a temporary solution because people are complaining about the traffic backup. So the minister and the ministry and the NRA, they're trying to do something to temporarily relieve that.
I understand exactly where you're coming from. Temporary.
Uh-huh.
Temporary has to have some sort of safeguard, because we got a lot of, I'm going to call them just how they are, a bunch of stupid drivers out here that don't give a rat's. And that road will turn into one little speedway at certain hours when they are ready. They don't give who is coming. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And I pray that doesn't happen. But, we do not have everybody mind that we can't control nobody minds. They're going to do what they want to do.
Exactly.
Wherever they are.
Mm-hmm.
It's just safety that we need. And if we get it, it would be good until we can get the road to the right grade that it's supposed to be put to. And I just hope that they put some serious guidelines down that road there that, those no more than 30 miles an hour, 25 miles an hour, and to be very cautious to the left and to the right because of the ditches. It's a lot of ditches there, so they're going to have to take a lot of stuff to put up there to try to avoid anyone from going off. But anyhow, I just pray nothing happens until they can get it fixed in the right form. My time is up.
Well, we have about 2 minutes to go before we go to the 8 o'clock news. So if you want to continue to talk, until then, we still have about 2 minutes. But I still maintain that the government can only do so much, and the not only is it a privilege to drive on our roads, to get a driver's license, drive, but there are certain responsibilities that go with that privilege as well, and people have to take responsibility. If they don't take responsibility, then they will end up suffering the consequences.
Yes, and killing someone too.
Yeah.
And the thing with it too, for them to take responsibility, they're not accustomed to responsibility. The majority of them is accustomed to living a wild life, and they feel they can bring it here and do as they please. It doesn't work like that. We got lives on the road. Your life is on the road. So why would you want to come out here and kill me or somebody else?
Mm-hmm.
Drive it cautious, but they just don't care. And I think that alcohol has a lot to do with our streets. I'm going to tell you that right now. I don't care who may like it, who don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
But, all these liquor stores that we got opening left, right, and center, from I understand there's a store that has a grocery store in it and a liquor store, and you can go into that and buy liquor before even 10 o'clock. I mean, how are these places being monitored? How are they being monitored? You know, like someone said, the police can't be everywhere. I'm surprised we got a police this morning up here on Walker's Road by the prep school, directing traffic.
Well, that's good. That's a good indication.
That's good. But anyhow, it's 8 o'clock, so
okay.
We'll talk later.
Thank you very much, folks. We've reached that time, top of the hour, 8 o'clock news. When we return, we should have members of the opposition in the studio. Don't change that dial. For the record, we'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
Thank you, Mr. Connor. And studio time now is 8 o'clock, brought to you with the kind compliments of Foster's.
When you're on the go,
the voice of the Cayman Islands.
When you're on the go, the experienced team at Foster's Pharmacy are here to help. Drop off your prescription while you shop or WhatsApp us and we'll prepare it, ready for your arrival.
Whether you need prescription or over-the-counter medications, blood glucose testing, or advice on vitamins and supplements, we're here early in the morning to late at night. Both of our locations at our Camana Bay and airport stores are open 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., Monday to Saturday.
For more info, visit fosters.ky/pharmacy. Foster's Pharmacy. Better health because we care.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman-Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. A man heads to summary court charged with 1 count of assault by penetration and defilement of a person under the age of 16. Radio Cayman's Jevi Ebanks has this report.
A court order prohibits Radio Cayman from identifying the defendant to protect the identity of the complainant. Due to the severity of the charges, classified as a Category A offense, the matter has been transferred to the Grand Court. The defendant has been granted bail to an address in Bodentown under strict conditions. He's scheduled to appear again in Grand Court on the 19th of September. Jevi Ebanks, Radio Cayman News.
A large net with a dead juvenile nurse shark is discovered by Tortuga divers in the waters off East End. The Department of Environment says the team on the boat noticed the net in time to avoid any damage to the vessel or crew. But when they pulled it out of the water, they found 2 dead specimens entangled in the net. One, a juvenile nurse shark, and another shark carcass that was, quote, too heavily decayed for identification. Abandoned nets, also called ghost nets, cause serious health hazards to the local marine life. The DOE says although the net likely originated offshore, the nurse shark that died in the net was most likely an individual from Cayman. In other news, the long-awaited section of the new East-West Agricola Road is opening to the public tomorrow.
The temporary roundabout has been put in place at the Hurst Road junction. We're looking forward to opening that connector from Agricola to Hurst Road.
Speaking on Radio Cayman's For the Record, Infrastructure Minister the Honorable J. Ebanks told listeners government is also testing solar lights, which have been installed along that stretch of road.
It won't be paved, so we ask people to just take precaution when they're driving in it. It's chip and spray it. Don't go down there speeding 100 miles an hour. You know, it is open as a temporary road right now to try to help relieve the traffic as more as we can. But we will, within another month or so, look at putting a thin layer of asphalt on top of it.
That means drive at the posted speed limit of 25 miles per hour and be alert to the presence of large trucks and heavy equipment that will be on that route. And finally, new month, new open mic night.
Underground Sessions is our monthly open mic and performance night. This month's edition is taking place this Wednesday, the 3rd of September at the Prospect Playhouse. And we'll have a featured artist by the name of James Monroe Jr.
Underground Sessions, hosted by local musician Mikhail Campbell, a.k.a. Kyle Matrix, tells Radio Cayman that James's steel pan performances blend island vibes with high energy. And tonight's show will feature music that is, quote, authentic, passionate, and built to move people.
Of course, we also have the mic open all night, so anyone who wants to perform or just wants to come out and see some local performers with everything ranging from singing to rapping to spoken word to comedy and everything in between can come and check it out.
Underground Sessions is free, and it all starts at 7 p.m. at Prospect Playhouse. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which takes us out of the newscast. I'm Kersley Fuller.
BBC News with Govinda Gill. The leaders of China, Russia and North Korea have appeared together in public for the first time at a massive military parade in Beijing. The display of hardware marked 80 years since China's victory over Japan in the Second World War. In a meeting with the North Korean leader after the parade, President Putin praised the country's soldiers fighting alongside Russia in Ukraine. An estimated 15,000 North Korean troops have joined the front line. President Zelensky has condemned Russia's latest attack on Ukraine, which officials say involved more than 500 drones and missiles. Mr. Zelensky said President Putin was demonstrating his impunity. The United Arab Emirates has warned Israel that annexing the West Bank would cross a red line. An Emirati official said it would be the death knell of the two-state solution. Anti-government protesters in Israel have set fire to cars and tyres in Jerusalem, some near the home of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. They're the latest protests demanding the government do all it can to ensure the release of remaining hostages in Gaza. A local armed group in Sudan says about 100 bodies have been recovered after a landslide in the western region of Darfur. They said search and recovery operations were continuing in the remote area despite limited resources. BBC News.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Start. Stop. That's how long it takes to react to a child crossing the street. How long would it take you to apply the brakes? How long would it take the parents to forgive you? How long would it take you to forgive yourself? Slow down. Save a life. Not only theirs, but your own. Texting, speeding, and ignoring safety rules can cost lives. Visit gov.ky/road safety to learn more and help keep our roads safe.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Britcade, where people come first.
Good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 84 degrees. Relative humidity is 87%. The barometric pressure, 29.93 inches and rising. The wind is southeast at 2 knots. Overnight low temperature was 79 degrees. Synopsis indicate mostly fair conditions are forecast for the morning with the possibility of afternoon, evening localized showers and thunder due to light winds coupled with daytime heating. Light winds and smooth seas will continue. The forecast for today calling for mainly sunny skies with partly cloudy spells and a 30% chance of afternoon showers and thunder. Temperatures will rise to the low 90s with a heat index near 106 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds will be light and variable and seas will be smooth with wave heights of less than 2 feet. Tonight, mainly clear skies with a 30% chance of showers and temperatures falling to the low 80s tonight. Winds light and variable for tonight as well, and seas will be smooth with wave heights of less than 2 feet. Low tide will be this afternoon at 12:43, high tide tonight at 7:32. The sun will set this evening at 6:37 and will rise tomorrow morning at 12 minutes after 6. And the outlook is calling for similar weather conditions through tomorrow evening. Thereafter, a gradual increase in the chance for cloudiness and showers are likely as moisture from the Central Caribbean moves into the Cayman area. And that's the very latest on your weather report.
Hey folks, thanks for your patience. We'll be taking off very shortly. You should be wheels up in about 40 minutes. And due to a bumpy ride, snacks and beverage service has been suspended. AC has given us some trouble. Sorry folks. And Wi-Fi is out. And so is the entertainment. Yeah, I'm sorry about the smell, folks. We are aware.
I know.
Just one more quick note. We are going to have to deplane.
Come on! We're like the plane ride that isn't a nightmare.
CG Brit K. Good like that.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Brit K, where people come first.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Good morning again. This time we take a quick look at what's happening on the roads. Traffic further up on Shamrock Road, moving along steadily. Further down, a little steadier traffic as you approach the Linford Pearson Highway. Expect some delays. It's coming off of Bobby Thompson Way and Agnes Way. As we look to the Esther Tibbetts Highway, steady traffic coming off of there. Further to the Butterfield Roundabout. As we look to the West Bay Road in front of the Ritz, traffic is moderate in both directions. Godfrey Nixon Way and Eastern Avenue flowing at a moderate pace. No issues on Owen Roberts Drive as traffic is light to moderate, as well as on Edward Street. Shedden Road, moderate flow of traffic. Huldah Avenue, steady but flowing traffic. Have you seen accidents or incidents? Let us know by calling us at 949-6990. Remember, click it or ticket. Join us again at about 10 minutes past 12. We'll give you another look at traffic.
There's something new at Subway. Indulge your taste buds with our new barbecue pork rib sandwich tender. Smoky pork ribs smothered in sweet and tangy barbecue sauce, built just the way you like it. It's bold, rich, and seriously satisfying. But hurry, it's here for a limited time only. Order now on the Subway Cayman Islands app for quick in-store pickup, or get it delivered with Bento or Let's Eat. The all-new barbecue pork rib sandwich, only at Subway. Subway, eat fresh.
Yummy.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
When I first started going to Healthcare Pharmacy, it was because it was convenient. But over the years, I continued to shop there because I trusted them. One day I was picking up my prescription, and the pharmacist noticed an over-the-counter medication in my basket. She said, "I hope that's not yours. It will interact with your prescription." And I thought, wow, thank you. Trust is so important when it comes to your health. Healthcare Pharmacy, with 2 locations, Grand Harbor and Governor Square, where they care about my health.
Mark your calendars for the Caribbean's ultimate gaming event. In the heart of the Caribbean, a storm is rising, the battleground is set, and the ultimate showdown is about to begin. This year, the games hit harder than ever. Fortnite FC 25, Super Smash Bros, NBA 2K25, and iRacing. Whether you're building, brawling, scoring, or driving, this is your stage. Top cosplayers, content creators, and gamers are flying in for one epic weekend in Grand Cayman. Meet Brown Bakugo, Kawiwi, and Austin John Plays. Snap pics, get autographs, or even one-on-one them live on stage. Gamers Bay isn't just a tournament, it's cosplay, merch, VR, creator booth, free play zones, prizes, and the epicenter of Caribbean esports. Think you've got what it takes? Step up and compete for your share of $10,000 in cash and prizes. Win glory, bragging rights, and cold hard cash. Gamers Bay 9, September 27th and 28th at the John Gray Gymnasium. Level up, lock in, let's play. For tickets and team registrations, head over to gamersbayevent.com.
For the Record with ORRETT Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're still waiting for our guests to appear based on what we're hearing about traffic on our roads. We can understand. I will send a WhatsApp message out just to ensure that they're still coming. And meanwhile, I have lots more information to share with you as well. This is a press release coming from the Health Services Authority. And again, we want to applaud all of those government entities, as well as those in the private sector who are doing their part for Caymanian to ensure Caymanians are employed. And as the Minister for Caymanian Employment and Immigration has said, that not just having a job, but also creating careers, having a career as well. So we see that the 7th cohort of nurses have graduated from the Health Services Authority's Transition to Practice program. So 6 new nurses have officially completed the Health Services Authority's year-long Transition to Practice program, stepping into full-time roles with the Cayman Islands healthcare system. Their graduation was marked during a special ceremony held at the Hibiscus Conference Room in July, celebrating the culmination of the rigorous professional development program conducted by the Health Services Authority. This year's cohort include Nikisha Frazier, Courtney Charles, Shakilia Ebanks, Navadine Prendergast, Kimberly Wedderburn, and Janella Salanatin. Salanatin. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Sorry if I'm butchering it. It says the Transition to Practice program is a key postgraduate training initiative aimed at bridging the gap between academic studies and real-world clinical practice. Over a 12-month period, participants are immersed in various specialty areas across the Health Services Authority, gaining critical hands-on experience and broadening their understanding of the healthcare system's inner workings. Program coordinator Dr. Dawn Kozemski explained, and I quote, "The structured support that TTP provides is invaluable. It eases the transition from student to practicing nurse, improves retention, and ultimately enhances the quality and safety of patient care." This year's cohort was unique in that it included 2 long-standing HSA staff members who transitioned from healthcare support roles to registered nurses. Nurse Kimberly Wedderburn and Nurse Nikisha Frazier. Nurse Wedderburn, who joined the HSA in 2004, wow, that's 21 years ago, shortly after Hurricane Ivan, described the program as, and I quote, "an amazing experience that helped me in truly transitioning from the licensed practical nurse LPN role to that of a registered nurse RN. Every preceptor was open and willing to teach and help you get the real life experience needed to confidently practice. This program gave me the opportunity to have structured guidance and support, which is immensely important for every new registered nurse moving into their new role." Nurse Fraser, who has been with the Health Services Authority since 2011, also moved into the RN role after years of service in outpatient and ward settings. During her career, Nurse Wedderburn became the first Caymanian certified in wound care in 2018, later expanding her qualification into diabetic wound care and, most recently, ostomy management. She's quoted as saying, "I am currently completing the ostomy management specialist certification because it has been identified that this specialty is needed in our community as a number of ostomy cases continue to grow," she explained. She added that she has recently been selected from thousands of wound care providers worldwide to serve as one of the 28 members of the host committee for an upcoming wound care conference overseas. This opportunity has shown me that despite being from a very small country, I am able to make an impact or impression upon other providers worldwide through my consistent hard work to excel in my career and certifications. One of the most valuable lessons she took away from the TTP program was the confidence to ask questions without hesitation. This program helped me to be much more open, asking questions. More open to asking questions if I was uncertain, and to be confident in asking those questions as they could impact the safety of my assigned patients. Beyond clinical skills for Nurse Wedderburn, the heart of nursing remains service. And I quote, "Helping people feel better has always filled my heart with joy. Serving my country as a nurse is an absolute privilege and honor. I am continually inspired by the nurses and midwives who built our nation's nursing community and follow in their footsteps to provide the optimal care that our people deserve." Since its launch in 2018, the HSA's TTP program has now graduated 7 cohorts, totaling 40 nurses, including this year's class. It continues to serve as a foundation for strengthening the local health care workforce. Due to the program's success and growth demand, Dr. Kuzemski confirmed that the 2025-2026 intake will expand from 6 to 8 participants. This year, we had more Caymanian applicants than ever before, she said. We wanted to increase the opportunity, so instead of 6, we'll accommodate 8. Transition to practice programs recommended by international healthcare bodies such as the Joint Commission International and the Institute for Medicine are credited worldwide with improving patient safety, increasing clinical competence, and retaining nurses in high-demand care settings. Similarly, in the Cayman Islands, with each graduating class, the TTP program is building a stronger, more resilient nursing workforce for the future. Kudos to the HSA, kudos to the cohorts, the graduates as well. 6 to 8, I'm sure that there is a reason for that, but if those numbers could be increased even more, and more financial support or whatever other support is necessary. And for those of you who are listening to this, if you know someone who may have an interest in this, please encourage them to get into the area, to feel that they want to be in. But when you get in there, don't just feel that you should be, that you have to be stuck in one position. Continue to improve on your skill sets. And if you can specialize, that is even more important, because those specialty areas are the ones that are in demand. Not anyone can just step into them. That makes you special, and that also gives you the opportunity to progress. And also, when you're negotiating salary with any employer, if you possess a unique skill that is not readily available in the Cayman Islands, or where there's a limited amount, then that goes a long way. And of course, it is good to have more and more of our Caymanian nurses in the field as well. Same way that we feel comfortable when we are traveling and you get to that Cayman Airways counter and you see a Caymanian face and you hear a Caymanian voice. When you're in the hospital, hearing that voice and seeing that face is also extremely, extremely comforting as well. We do have a caller on WhatsApp. Let's grab the caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. O'Connor.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Okay, and you?
I'm fine, thanks.
Okay. Yeah, well, concerning when you all have guests like the government or the opposition, I would just like to suggest that whenever they're on the show, first of all, they should be taking calls, because the callers and the voters of the country, the questions and comments that they have to make are very important. And when they allow calls at a time in the show when the show is almost finished, it's also not fair to the callers that are calling in to ask questions or make comments, because it makes the people want to speak at a fast pace of speed in order to get through to the government or the opposition what they have to say. And by doing so, people can lose their train of thought.
But you don't think also that if you're going to get on the phone and call in, that you should know what you want to say before, while you're on there, so that you can express, what you want to say if you know and have in mind what is it that you want to say. I'm all for that. I understand, but I also understand that our culture here in the Cayman Islands, that whenever we're talking, we always have to tell a story. And unfortunately, when you have a 2.5 hour program with commercials and everything else, we're not afforded that luxury.
Mr. O'Connor. I would like to say this.
Sure.
And to the government and to the opposition, when they're guests on your show, without callers, this show is not saying anything of importance. Because if you all don't get the comments or the questions from the callers and the voters of this country, them coming on and saying what they have done and what their plans are to do is not as important as the callers' suggestions or comments.
That is why we suggest that, because we can't accommodate everyone on the phones, that people should send in their questions and their comments. And we do share them. Sometimes I have to paraphrase because they're so long, and I have to select portions of it that are relevant. But we do as much as possible. But you also have to understand that there are sometimes when our guests come on because they have a particular message that they want to get across. And under those circumstances, it may not be conducive to accommodate calls. And I go to great lengths to explain when that is possible and when it is not. There has to be give and take on both sides, caller.
Okay, well, I'm just hoping that it doesn't get to the point where you all don't get any calls at all. I hope it doesn't come to that. But I have something else to say concerning the deputy leader, Kenneth Brian. I heard it on the other talk show with Sandra Catron that he's going into real estate. And he came on her show and he said that he was going into real estate because he needed more money, because by the time he gets paid from the government, that money is finished. But as soon as he gets paid, that money is finished because of how he has to spend it. So he needs a part-time job where he's able to make extra finances to help his people. And because of him not being a minister, he doesn't have as much work as he would have as a minister. So he has more time to be working on a part-time job as a real estate agent.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if the opposition realizes how disgraceful this looks for a person to be their deputy leader, to be acting in this way. My suggestion to them, even though Mr. Tatum might have just won his first election, my suggestion to them is to make Mr. Tatum their deputy leader. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, caller, for that as well. We have to go to a commercial break. Do we have another caller on hold, Ms. Susan? We have another caller. We will take that caller as soon as we return. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
It's a sizzling summer with Jan Money. You can win a luxury weekend getaway for two when you send or receive money from now until September 30, 2025. That's right. We're turning up the heat this summer with Jan Money. Visit www.janmoneyonline.com to learn more about how to win. What are you waiting for? Send, win, relax this summer with Jan Money.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget. Our Custom Closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
It's a ladies' night of comedy at the Laughter Lounge. Who runs the World Edition? Miss Jin from Jacksonville, Amber James from Indianapolis, and Ginny G from Los Angeles by way of Chicago take over the mic for non-stop punchlines. Friday, September 5th at the Hawkwell Theater. Doors open at 7 p.m. with the show starting at 8 p.m. sharp. Round up your crew and secure seats. Tickets available at laughcayman.com. Presented by Executive Services with Heineken Zero and Appleton. Keeping the vibes right. Big energy, bigger laughs. Buy your tickets now before they're gone. Brought to you in part by Radio Cayman.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Our guest is on their way into the studio, but traffic is pretty tight out there this morning. Let's go to our caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, O.C.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Good to have you back. I am blessed. Another day above the ground, and I'm very thankful.
Thank you.
Couple of things I want to that's concerning me very much.
Sure.
This new road that they put in from Agricola, from in front of the agriculture there, goes down to Hearst Road and then across Hearst Road into Rex Crichton Boulevard.
Mm-hmm.
And that comes up down by Tomlinson roundabout, I'm very concerned that when our government ever going to look in the right direction about traffic. Now, here's what's going to happen there on that. You're going to have people going down through by Agriculture Road there, buzz across Horse Road, onto Rex Crichton Boulevard, and when they get to Tomlinson Roundabout, you're going to have a backup of traffic. You're going to have problems there.
Mm-hmm.
They're not looking on that. Opening that section of land up is opening it for more houses, more cars. I said it once, I said it twice, I said it a dozen times. Why don't the government look into putting in an overhead highway from Frank Sound into Hurley's, where Hurley's come there? Or they start to put stoplights. Stoplight work very good. Look at Smith Road Junction with I think it's Linford Pearson Highway. I don't know if that piece comes off there, but where those stoplights are, everything works good there.
Mm-hmm.
And it can work. It will work the same way. But think of it: when all of that traffic coming from through Spot Street and coming from Rex Crichton Boulevard right now has a backup problem there at Tomlinson Roundabout.
Yep.
What's going to happen now when more traffic is coming in there? I mean, I wonder if they really wouldn't want to hire me, which I'm really past retirement age, but somebody need to really sit down with the government and sort this out properly, because what they're doing is just wasting money. Now, the second thing that I want to talk to you about, the temporary roundabout they put by Hearst Road.
Mm-hmm.
If one of Foster's big 40-foot trailer truck comes up Rex Crichton Boulevard from Tomlinson Roundabout, come up Rex Crichton Boulevard to Hearst Road to turn to come out to Foster Food Trade, that truck not going to make it. They have to ride over that roundabout.
Mm-hmm.
That serves no purpose. I know they're trying, and I hold my hat up to Jay because he's doing the best he can, but there's more that can be done and better that can be done, because there is always a opening for more better growth than what we have. And we say, look into the possibilities of the overhead highway. If they can build them in the United States, you mean to tell me that the United States got more educated people than we have?
Mm-hmm. But wouldn't if you had a highway, the same bottleneck that you're talking about, wouldn't that even create the bottleneck much faster? Because it means then that you have traffic moving from the east much faster than it would if you're on a highway where you can do 40, 50 miles an hour. Doesn't that increase the bottleneck in terms of the speed at which that bottleneck will be created being even greater?
When you get to Hurley, when you come down there, remember now you got a Linford Pearson Highway, and you have Crew Road. You have two exits right there. You could choose. You choose to go. If you choose to go Linford Pearson Highway, then that take you out on Walker Road and about up on that, up behind the prison, the female prison area there. I don't even remember the name of that area there.
Yeah.
But or you can do the Hurley's, the straight one that go down on Crew Road. So it wouldn't be a bottleneck, because the bottleneck really doesn't start there. The bottleneck starts from all the way up here in Bodden Town.
Yeah, but have you ever been in the mornings? Have you ever been in that area? Let's say if we took the area from Kings and Crew Road and Linford Pearson Highway, and that whole area that encompasses where the credit union is, that whole area there is bumper to bumper to bumper traffic in the morning. So it is because of the fact that everyone is going to one location, it is almost impossible to avoid that bottleneck at some point.
Well, I think it could be done better if you do it with the overhead highway, because the traffic doesn't really back up there as bad as it is on the road going down. But if you had two roads, you got the one on the level, the bottom road, and you got a highway that you could go, it would relieve a lot of the traffic problems.
Yeah, and at the further end of it, yeah, I agree with that. Yeah,
and you could span, for instance, Linford Pearson Highway, that could be open into 4 lanes, right? You would have 4 lanes on that side. You would have 1 lane on the Crew Road side going into town. You could do it, but they're just wasting time, money, and effort, because what they're doing there is just creating or do then what they with what I'm telling you, OC, we're gonna have more headaches at Tomlinson Roundabout than what days in the year, because there's gonna be too much traffic, because people are gonna try to beat the traffic, go down through Agriculture Road, come out on Hearst Road, jump on Rex Creighton Boulevard, and when they get to Tomlinson Roundabout, that's where you're gonna have problems. Okay, move the roundabout, put a stoplight there.
Caller, but don't you think that we have to start looking at other approaches rather than just trying to build out roads? There has to be a multi-pronged approach to the whole issue of traffic, and one of those that we keep hearing more lip service being paid to than anything else is some sort of alternative to persons jumping in their vehicles and traveling into town. A reliable public transport system as well.
Yes. That would only work for a few. That's not going to be very good. But you know that I said it once before, and I was told by a government minister that I was talking nonsense. I say we need to bring more of the businesses from Georgetown to Bordentown, to East End, to even Red Bay. Bring more of the businesses this side, especially the offshore banks and the departments where people just go to work from 8 till 4. Bring some of those businesses out here. Right? Create more job opportunities in the eastern districts, like, for instance, banks and stuff like that, offshore banks and then law firms that could be out here. But everything is right there in Georgetown. It's like you're just putting more and more and more and more junk into the dump. That's what created the problem we have today. They need to think of it that way. The more businesses that's created in Georgetown, the more problem. When somebody want to do a business, they come and tell the plaintiff, listen, you have to go to West Barrow Way or you have to go to East End Way. In that direction, we're not allowing no more businesses to be established in Georgetown. We need to stand up like humans, like we mean what we say. Our governments are just petty people. We need people in there that will stand up and say, this is it. And like, you remember when Jim Barton and them was there, when that wanted to bring in, I can't remember what was, but they stood up and said, absolutely no way, no how.
Caller, I want to thank you. Thank you very much. Sorry I have to interrupt there, but we need to grab another caller before we go to our commercial break. But thank you very much. And we need to bear in mind there is no silver bullet to the issue of traffic and congestion on our roads. It has to be a multifaceted, multi-pronged approach to it. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. Connor.
Good morning. Good morning.
I have 2 short points. Number one, the person who was talking about Mr. Kenneth Brian plan to go in real estate to look at second job. As far as I am concerned, the man is looking at honest living, and I see nothing wrong with that. He's not a minister that has responsibility so far. So if he have the time and can work at honest living, nothing is wrong with that. Okay, point number 2. Another caller talk about the temporary roundabout at Hearst Road, and said that if faster big truck come up, they can't cross there. If he noticed, the roundabout is made flat, so the big truck can go over it. You don't have to go around it like a car. You can go over it, and that's why it is designed like that, to accommodate small and also large vehicles.
And not only that, but if the drivers of the Foster's trailers know that roundabout there is difficult to negotiate, there's an alternative. They go on Shamrock Road and come in on through that area. There are alternatives.
Absolutely. So things like those, they don't have to take it to be a problem. You see, the thing is there, and the minister is trying his endeavor best to sort out things. It will take time, so we just have to be patient.
Yes.
One of our main problems is because these folks are driving too fast on the road, and they don't use indicators, 50% of them, so they always have accidents. And this is what they need to do. In fact, as far as I'm concerned, 40% of them who are on the road now shouldn't be on the road because they can't drive. That's number one. I see them every single day. But it is simple. The roundabout there is working, and they can make it better in time to come, but power to them. They are doing what is best in our interest. I live on Hearst Road, and I know what it is. And this will help. Yeah. So, just want to get it across.
Yeah, caller, my comment, and that, and I support you and appreciate what you've said. But if you notice, the people, and there's nothing wrong with putting points forward, and nothing wrong with complaining if you feel that things can be done better. But in most instances, we that complain, we're the ones that probably have it the best, but we still find something to complain about, which is unfortunate.
Well, like I say, I live on Hearst Road. I cross there several times a day, and I don't see a problem there. I see things getting better. It's anything. Yeah.
You work with what you have. Yeah.
Exactly. What we need to do is practice road courtesy. You see them going on in the morning, they're just skipping from lane to lane, no indicator.
Yeah.
So, it's amazing. A nice place like this, Cayman, have some of the best roads. I travel all over the world and I have seen roads, and I can tell anybody, my heart is lifted to these people who are fixing road in Cayman. We have some of the best road in the world. And every time you look, they run off on the road, they're gone over guardrail, they're all over the place. For what? Driving too fast. And that is the main problem, driving too fast. I drive from Hearst Road to Georgetown many times a day, and I take my own time, no excess speed, and I reach on time. If they are going somewhere, just leave on time. That's all they have to do.
Caller, thank you. Thank you very much. I'm going to ask you to leave us there. We were a couple of minutes over our commercial break, and we have our guest in the studio that we're going to introduce, and we still have another caller on hold as well. Please stay tuned. Talk for the record. We'll be back shortly.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite Band-Aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. Don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
When a hurricane hits, unexpected costs can add up fast. Homeowners are usually out of pocket for these costs to get supplies or make minor repairs. But with Cineco's parametric coverage, you get automatic payouts within 2 to 3 weeks after a Category 3 or stronger storm, whether or not you have damage. Available only through Cineco Homeowners Insurance. Call 949-8101 or visit Cineco.ky for a quote. That's Cineco.ky to get a quote today. Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
Shipping to the Cayman Islands is fast, reliable, and seamless thanks to Cayman Airways Cargo. Need it faster than ocean freight? Cayman Airways Cargo offers multiple cargo flights to Grand Cayman from Miami weekly, so your packages, whether big, small, or in between, will arrive in no time. You can even use a Cayman Airways Cargo US address for your online shopping. Cayman Airways Cargo is also the only carrier providing air freight services for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Contact us today and see why Cayman Airways Cargo was voted as Cayman's best cargo and logistics company in the Best of Cayman Awards. For details, visit CaymanAirways.com/cargo.
For the Record with ORRETT Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. My pleasure to have in the studio with me the Deputy Leader of the Opposition and Member of Parliament, Mr. Kenneth Brian. I want to say good morning to him, say good morning to you, and then we're going to go to our caller that we have on hold. Mr. Bryan, good morning, sir. Welcome back to For the Record. How was your summer?
It was wonderful. It was wonderful. As much as I would like to tell you about my little break with the family and everything else, I'm not going to use up that time this morning, but to say that I'm sorry I'm late. The traffic is crazy out there. I know we have a caller, so let's get straight to it. So when that call is done, I got about 5 things that I would like to complete before 10 o'clock, and potentially take a call or 2 at the end. So I was happy to be here and look forward to the conversation.
Okay. Our caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning to the Deputy Leader, and it's very nice of him to ask you to come to the caller because you would not want to upset me.
I tell you what, the Lord must have been working with me then, because if I had known you, I wouldn't even have said anything. I'd just say, go straight to the call.
OC, I'm hearing calls about putting in more lanes. I remember when we had 2 lanes, 1 lane going each way. Then they called for 2 lanes. Now they call for 3 lanes. Now they call. 4. I heard a gentleman on calling for 4 lanes and overhead. You think, OC, that we will approve that we cannot bill ourselves out of traffic then? If we had 2 lanes, now we got 3. Now we call him for 4, and the Deputy Leader are late coming to you because of traffic. OC, why don't we? The cause that they're making is for more expensive things they want put in place to alleviate the traffic. Why don't we do it the cheaper way? Why don't we just eliminate the amount of cars that are allowed to travel on our roads? Eliminate the amount of people that we allow to bring cars into the country. So see, whenever you got some time and it's rush hour, I want you to sit and count the amount of cars that cross you, that there's only 1 person in each vehicle, 1 single person. And of all those 1 person that in our vehicle, you don't tell me everyone them live in a house by themselves.
True.
Well, see, I know of an incident by Alamo Drive where husband, wife, and daughter were bumper to bumper, hit each other, accident.
Wow.
Coming from the same yard, one working at the license department, one working at Mobile Bank, which was the little Piccadilly there, and one working at Cable Wireless. Same identical spot almost, they're working, live in the same yard, and 3 cars, 3 different people running into the back of each other. Or see, the easiest way out is to eliminate the amount of traffic, cars on the road. Not every soul, or see, that come to the island need to have a car. People just get a car because they come here and it's easier for them to get a car, something they've never ever had in their life. Half of them don't know how to drive because they only got their license after it's coming on the island. They knows nothing about, like that gentleman said a while ago, road courtesy. They don't know anything about that. They don't know anything about dimming their lights when head-on traffic come in, because now they got so much these white lights, these LED lights in their car, blinding people. They knows nothing about dimming the lights. Some of them don't know anything about traffic. They knows nothing about roundabouts, which roundabout to me is the easiest thing to drive in. But according, I saw 5 accidents yesterday, OC.
Wow.
In the morning. One right there, can you imagine, right by the old Hyatt, OC? Serious accident? Oh, you can have a serious accident right there, OC, and you're coming up to the roundabout right there. You know, OC, we have to take, I don't even know, I mean, they're calling to take drastic measurement by billing. But isn't that more expensive than the one I'm calling for to eliminate the car? Which one is easier?
Well,
or you just don't want to upset people?
If I can,
personality getting in the way.
If I can say this, Graham, Lord Graham, there's only two ways around this, and I think you mentioned one, which is restrictions for vehicles. But you can't pull one thing without having another solution, which is a proper transportation system, upon which I know Minister Jay is working hard to come up with the fundamental plan. I think you're going to get some news from him soon in a couple of months in the floor of the House. I'm confident that he's my friend, and he's a action man. I think he's a new action man from the north. So I'm confident that. But the other way is the east-west arterial, so we can diversify our balance across the country. If you were to take an overview of Cayman and the development, everything is to the west. We don't have a problem with numbers, we have a problem with management. Everything is to one side. If 50% of those people were going in a different direction, working that way, living that way, shopping that way, and all that, we wouldn't have a traffic problem. It's just that everybody going in one direction. So there's two ways to fix it, and I think there needs to be a two-pronged approach, one from a long-term perspective and one from a medium-short-term perspective, being the transportation system. Because the other extreme one that can be done immediately would be too drastic that I think you would get the masses to accept, which is non-Caymanians not having a license. And you even if you were to do that and then fix the problem where less people can drive on the road, they still need to get to work, they still need to get leisure, they still need to get home, all of those things. And the transportation system that we currently have is not efficient enough for the population that we have. So that's just my input. You may agree or disagree, but that's where I think we're at. So we're not going to be able to fix this traffic problem immediately, but we have to continue to make steps moving forward towards it.
Eliminating driver's license. Let me tell you something, how we can go about that.
Okay.
When your application goes in for your work permit, if that work permit don't require for you to drive, then you will not be given a license to drive. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So how long have we been talking about reliable transport, public transport? We keep talking that and nothing happens. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to bite the bullet. Now you got electric bicycles all over the place. We are eliminating. Listen, nothing wrong with getting on a bicycle and ride to work. Or see you ride 100 miles every morning before you come on the radio? 100?
Not in the middle of the day, though. Not in the middle of the day. He does it in the morning strategically because it's cooler.
Who goes to work at 12 o'clock in the day?
Well, nobody.
They go to work early in the morning. You don't come now defending people driving up and down the road all day now.
Well, I have to be.
Get on the bicycle. Didn't we ride bicycle all day?
Yes, we did.
I'm listening to you. You're trying to be in. Yeah, I'm listening to you.
No, I have to be
trying to justify anything here now.
I have to be fair to the conversation because people don't travel only in the morning.
Conversation. I say eliminate the vehicles on the road.
Okay.
That'll be fair to us, the indigenous people that wants to get from point A to point B, and you don't come talking about moving businesses in other direction because East End need to remain the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
I know where you're going with your argument,
Lord Graham, if I may, I think the question that we need to ask also is whether or not the increase in the number of vehicles on our roads is due to the lack of public transportation, or is it because of the fact, like you say, that we are too generous in terms of who can own a car and who can drive on our roads? Because I believe that I'm wondering whether or not anyone has asked those persons who are involved in public transport, even though they're private buses, how has their income been impacted in the last couple of years? I know, for instance, and God bless his soul, the late Dave Rocket. It wasn't unusual 5:30 in the morning for us to see him in his bus, and he would do his runs, and before midday he was off the road.
Yeah.
He was finished. If he were around now, the question would be, has your income been reduced as a result of the more vehicles, more private ownership of vehicles in the Cayman Islands? So that's what we have to look at, whether or not the increase in the number of vehicles is due to the lack of public transportation, or is it because if it isn't, then saying that we can't fix this until we get a proper public transport system, that is a cop-out to me.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, see, also know where you have people here on work permit, living in the same little house, and like 3 sisters and 2 brothers, and so that's six people, family members in there, and there's 4 cars amongst 6 work permit people. You got to tell me they can't drop each other off to work. See?
Used to do it before.
The thing is, cars are so easily got in Cayman. You can go on the internet and bring in a piece of junk that not for export. Not for export. The car is not to be exported, but yet we as Caymanians that's supposed to be a higher society than other places still allow those domestic cars to come into Cayman where they roll over in the middle of the street for no reason. Think about that. That's what I got to think about.
Well, Graham, thank you very much. We go to our headline news. When we return, you've heard our guest, Honorable Kenneth Brian, point out that he has about 5 different topics that he wants to cover. And for those of you who are curious, yes, he will touch on the issue of his, I'll call it extracurricular activity that is, being talked about as well. So the phone calls will be suspended for a while, and he's hoping that at least on the last 15 minutes of the show, he will be able to entertain some calls as well. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
2 dead sharks are found in a ghost net off East End. The Department of Environment says a team from Tortuga divers found 2 dead specimens entangled in the net, a juvenile nurse shark and another carcass that was too heavily decayed to ID. Though the net likely originated offshore, the DOE says the nurse shark that died in the net was most likely an individual from Cayman. In international news, U.S. President Donald Trump says the U.S. has carried out a strike on a drug-carrying vessel in the southern Caribbean, killing 11 narco-terrorists. He posted on social media on Tuesday the U.S. military operation had targeted members of the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua. Trump said the vessel was in international waters and was transporting illegal narcotics bound for the U.S. The Trump administration has ratcheted up military and political pressure against Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro in recent weeks, including through a $50 million reward for information leading to his arrest on drug trafficking charges. Maduro has vowed Venezuela will fight any attempted U.S. military intervention. Fast fashion giant Shein has launched an investigation after an image of Luigi Mangione, accused of murdering United Healthcare CEO Bryan Thompson in New York last year, was used to model a shirt. An image with his likeness, which appeared to show him wearing a white, short-sleeved shirt, appeared on the fast fashion website until its removal. Many online have speculated the image was created using artificial intelligence, but remains unclear how the picture was actually made. Those are your headlines. I'm Carsley Fuller.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Do you have a healthcare question but not sure who to ask? Contact HSA's Patient Call Center to speak to one of our experienced clinical team members. We are here to answer your questions and help guide you through your healthcare journey. Need to make an appointment? Our team can help. Contact HSA at 949-8600 or email info@hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the Salad Bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
For the Record with ORRETT Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, Honorable Kenneth Brian, who is a member of our parliament and deputy leader of the opposition. The phone lines will be closed off for now, but our WhatsApp number is there. You can send in, not call in, send in WhatsApp messages, and I will try to get them, if there are comments or questions, to share them with our guest while he speaks about the five particular things that he wants to talk about this morning. And like you said, if time allows, maybe 15 minutes or so before 10 o'clock, we can open up the phone lines. So, Mr. Bryan,
thank you.
Over to you, sir.
Thank you again, Mr. Connor. I'm going to try to be quick with these topics. It's more information offering to the public so they know some stuff that's happening with the official opposition as well as with myself. So hopefully we will have time. It's only 9:05. I think we can get through this by my 9:45. Quickly, I think you mentioned before the break there has been much commentary about my intention to seek the license of a real estate agent. Quite surprised on how dramatic people or some commenters have taken it. But, you know, everybody has a right to their opinion. And my job is to respond to those upon which I represent. And just to give comfort to the good people of Georgetown Central upon which I represent, as well as the Greater Cayman Islands. I don't see this in any capacity impeding me from doing my job. Matter of fact, I think there will be an added benefit for me to have another source of income to help my people. Because obviously we're limited on, particularly in the high cost of living today. Much of my salary I end up giving back to my people in one way, shape, or form, because I think the social welfare system is not efficient enough. It's so much bureaucracy just to get help, and $100 today don't go very far. You can't even get 2 days worth of food with $100 from the supermarkets today. So I am obviously not one of those MPs who have other businesses that they can use, and we have multi-millionaires that's in Parliament, and there's no question about the savings or monies that they have that they can help. My job is to help my people. Anyway, I don't think there's going to be any major financial benefit here, because the purpose upon which I started this venture, most of the public will be aware that my wife is in real estate, Century 21. Mm-hmm. And naturally, from even when I was a minister, I obviously do everything that I can to support my wife and help her in her endeavors. And even then, when I was out flyering to help her, it was a conflict. It was an issue then, and I was like, oh boy, it's like the scrutiny comes with the job, but sometimes it's unjustified in my opinion. Anyway, now that I have a little more leeway and less responsibility as a minister, cabinet responsibilities, because I'm not a minister anymore, it gave me more room to support and help my wife. So in order for any discussions, the Cerebra rules are quite simple. You can't be involved in any legal discussions or conversation or transactions without being a licensed agent. So they have options to be full-time or part-time. So my wife and I spoke about it and said, well, why don't you just become a part-time person? So in the event something comes up and I need your assistance, you're already licensed. Yeah. So obviously some people naturally want to make it a bigger deal than what it is for whatever reason, and that's fine. It's a part of being scrutinized, but it's more of a, in the event that I needed to help, any transactions with my wife, so I'm not in any violation to the Cerebra rules or, to be accused in any other way. At this point, I probably not going to get any sales because of the negativity. But anyway, I have to look out for myself and my family as well as my constituents. So if I can get an extra $500 a month or extra $1,000 a month to help my constituency, well, I will do that, and I have no reservations for it. So that's enough of that. I want to move on now to some things that are happening. I'm concerned about some tariffs that have just been implemented by the Trump administration and the effects that it's having on the Cayman Islands, particularly the postal services and customs and duties. As we all know, that the Trump administration added some tariffs on Chinese goods and some other major trade countries out there, and the United States for the Cayman Islands is a major trade hub. So goods that may not necessarily end up in the United States but being passed on over to the Cayman Islands are getting added extra cost on it and making cost of living and importation of goods for businesses and personal importation becoming more expensive. And obviously that's having a knock-on effect. And I would like to hear from the government about it. I've filed a parliamentary question about it. And I know the good minister, Nicholas DaCosta, is a very efficient minister. I want to say this publicly because I think it's due. Nicholas was the caucus secretary and has wanted to run for politics for a long time. And I'm very impressed with his representation as a minister thus far. And I think he's obviously going to be rather efficient with his details of his responsibilities. So I look forward to hearing from him in respect to this area because it's having a costly effect. To what magnitude, only him can tell us, the people, and I'm assuming he will use his technocrats within the office to say what is the feedback from the business community, what is the feedback from post office, from DHL, FedEx, and so forth. What are they seeing and feeling? And if there's people out there in the public who have been negatively affected by increasing costs, please let me know or voice yourself on the radios, because I think we need to be mindful. Any inflationary cost right now is the worst thing. We actually supposed to be trying to put it down rather than put it up. So I want the minister and the ministry to explain to the country what we're doing and what we're seeing the effects are. So that's one topic, all done and over. The other one I wanted to talk about was that tomorrow the Public Accounts Committee will be doing a hearing. Apologize, I just got the report here. And it's the third report in a series of reports that was done by the Auditor General. And one of my rules now moving forward, I'm so sorry, I should have had this out already. And maybe I should bring up this topic after the break so I can find the report. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll bring that one up after the break.
Okay, we'll take the break now, and then you can look that up. And
no, I can talk about the other one quickly.
Okay.
There's an area. Obviously, you have the Honourable Minister Michael Miles, who seems to be a very passionate and spirited minister in respect to immigration, and I am the shadow minister for that. I want to give a little heads up from now that there continues to be a problem with Caymanians having to apply for acknowledgement letters, particularly for work purposes. There is a moral embarrassment by many Caymanians having to go in while a status holder has a document to say, I'm Caymanian, and to know that many Caymanians, their passport can be used. So I have people who are registered voters, and you can't be a registered voter without being Caymanian. So the elections office officials go through that process and verify you're Caymanian, and there are businesses who are still saying they're not willing to accept that as a authority to say that you're a Caymanian. This is a moral subject area, and people feel
it's stigmatized by having to do it. Yeah.
Insulted, to be honest with you, is probably the word that I would use. To have to go, I need to go in and apply to find out if I am a Caymanian. I think it's time for us as a country to go ahead and do a, rubber stamp situation whereby you find out all those persons who fall within that realm and send them the letter. A Caymanian shouldn't have to go in and apply for the letter. And amongst the many immigration reforms that I'm hearing that's going to be suggested, which I'm happy to hear about them. But until I see the draft legislation, I'm not going to get too excited. I want to see it first. So talk is one thing, proof is in the pudding. So I'm excited with hope, but we're not quite there yet. So I want him to put this on his radar. I'd rather not have to bring a motion to the House. I think that there's enough energy and spirit there from the minister that he can translate that into his government to make the necessary changes that Cayman shouldn't have to apply, right?
And wouldn't it also be simpler to prescribe those documents that any prospective employer can accept as proof of Caymanian, being Caymanian? Like, for instance, you would say if a person is in possession of a voter registration card, you can accept that.
Correct. And the question is why they're not doing that. And what I am understanding is that there was at one point a suggestion that even a person on the voter registration could not still be Caymanian, and I questioned it even. I was like, how in the world is you saying that? Because if you're saying that, that means that our voting system is flawed, even if one member is on there.
Well, there was a time when that was possible, when those persons were grandfathered in, when you were only required to be a Commonwealth citizen.
Correct.
But that goes way back. Those persons have either now achieved Caymanian status or they are no longer with us.
Well, either which way it is, if there was a policy directive from the government to say, employers nationally, you are allowed to and will be free from any legal claims if it's different to use a voter registration as to say that this person is Caymanian. Then that solves the problem. Then the pressure is not so heavily on this. But if you're going to continue to allow employers to say, I'm not willing to take a voter's ID or a voter registration as to say certainty that you're a Caymanian because of those grandfathered persons in may still be on the list, then you're going to have to go fix the other problem, which is go out and rectify all those persons who are Caymanian and give them a letter of authority to say that they are. And I'm even embarrassed by this whole conversation, and many Caymanians are. But it's time to rectify now while we're in the spirit of reform in respect to immigration. So we'll talk further on the other topics when you get back from the break.
Okay, folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Storms bring wind, rain, and unexpected costs to buy supplies, secure your home, or make minor repairs. Incidental expenses not covered by insurance. Until now, with Cineco's parametric coverage, you get automatic payouts within 2 to 3 weeks of a Category 3 or stronger hurricane, whether or not you have damage. Available only through Cineco's homeowners insurance. Visit Cineco.ky to get a quote today. Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget. Our custom closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
It's a sizzling summer with Jan Money. You can win a luxury weekend getaway for two when you send or receive money from now until September 30, 2025. That's right. We're turning up the heat this summer with Jan Money. Visit www.janmoneyonline.com to learn more about how to win. What are you waiting for? Send, win, relax this summer with Jan Money.
For the Record with ORRETT Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, Deputy Leader of the Opposition and Member of Parliament, Mr. Kenneth Brian. several topics that he's talking about. So I'm throwing the mic right over to him.
Thank you so much, Mr. Corner. Unfortunately, I didn't seem to have brought the report, but I'm trying to find it online real quickly. But it's a report done by the Auditor General about sustainability of our revenues, and the PAC will be discussing it tomorrow. And I think I would like to encourage the public. Here it is: improving financial accountability and transparency, long-term financial sustainability. So we're going to be, as the PAC members, myself, the Honorable Roy McTaggart is the chair, Christopher Saunders, as well as Roy Tatum, and Honorable what's his name again now? Wayne Panton, and the Parliamentary Secretary, Miss Julie Hides. Those are the members of the Public Accounts Committee. And as a result, we're going to be going through what this report says, what its recommendations are, what the government is doing to make sure that the long-term sustainability financially of the Cayman Islands is being addressed and try to mitigate the risk. Because you've heard so much about all of the liabilities that we have from a healthcare perspective, from social welfare perspective, schools, maintenance of properties and so forth, and whether or not our revenues continue to be sufficient for the long term to take care of the country. We have pension liabilities, we have a lot of other concerns. So we have to make sure that there's enough structures in place to make sure that the revenues are on pace, as well as our operational costs are not going out of the way. And that has a lot to do with what some of the things you're going to hear soon with the budget about operational costs being kept manageable, while at the same time maintaining revenue and the exposure to any economic shocks globally. So there's some things that were recommended by the Auditor General's office, unfortunately, that has not been accepted. And there's some things that have been accepted. So it's an opportunity to examine the Honorable Kenneth Jefferson, who is the Secretary for Ministry of Finance, and the constitutionally recognized person, our position that guides the country's finances. So examine how is he making sure that the government, through the civil service and his advice to the government, that we are sustainable financially. It's bound to be rather exciting tomorrow in the line of questioning, because we've had some conflicts or questions, and I know many of them have come from me about our budgets, our budget projections and so forth, and even admittance by the Minister of Finance himself acknowledging that some of the projections are not reliable within just periods of months. So reliability of projections and financial stability has a lot to do with the topic of this report, which is improving financial accountability and transparency, long-term, short-term, and medium-term. So there's bound to be some interesting questions that I think the public will want to hear. The PAC starts at 10 o'clock tomorrow. We all meet there at 9 to go over prep and so forth. The Honorable Deputy Governor is also a witness. The Honorable Franz Manderson, which is a friend of mine, so I'm not sure how much hard questions he's going to get, but I definitely think there's going to be some pointed questions to the Financial Secretary, Kenneth Jefferson, as to the risk, the sustainability in respect to our finances and expenses, because it's not only about how much money you make, but your operational liabilities and the long-term pension, health care, and all of these other things. So if you are concerned or you would like to hear more about the longevity of your country, because these things that we're talking about are not about just today. This is about Cayman 50 years from now. And being able to, for those of you who are, I'd say if you're in your 50s, I think you should listen, because you will be pensionable, and whether the country will be in a financial position to help you with your health care and your pension when you become 65. So I, honestly, anybody over age 45, you should be listening to this, because we're going to be going into health care and pension and the revenue sustainability of the country to take care of its people.
And it'll be live, and of course, Radio Cayman will
be carrying
it live as well.
Correct. So I'm not going to dwell much more into that, but just to encourage the public to listen in. The Auditor General will be there, and we have a series of questions to try to examine and educate you as to where the country is now, what risk we were trying to avoid. There's maybe a possibility of seeing some other technocrats within the Ministry of Finance, like the risk managers and so forth. And what a risk manager is a person who identifies financial risk concerns to the government and the operations of the government. So there's a lot of information. I know sometimes it's like, well, I don't know how this all works. Just sit and listen for a little bit. You'll be surprised what comes to you. That's how that works. That's how this works. So this is my first time as a Public Accounts Committee member, but I'm diving deep into it because it's another way. You know me, I like to ask questions and scrutinize things. It helps me learn. And I'm excited about the role because it's exactly what it is, Public Accounts Committee, which holds the government to account with its spending, its practices, its policies, its sustainability of the country long term. And we have some very strong people on there, former Premier, former Deputy Premier, two former Deputy Premiers actually, and two new members, Miss Julie Hunter. Keep on saying Heights. Julie Hunter and the Roy Tatum. So you have good experience, and then obviously the chairperson who's been the Minister of Finance and a chair on the Public Accounts Committee before and continues to be so.
It should be interesting that because you've been on one side of the fence where you're involved in spending, government resources and everything. Now you're on the other side where you're scrutinizing that. So
perfect. So they know that I will be able to identify any funny business, if I can dare say it like that. So it bounds to be interesting. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next topic because I really do want to open up the phone lines at the very last for the public to tune in. I will be traveling in October for about a week to the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association conference that will be in Barbados. And for those of you who may not know what that is, the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association is an association made up of all the Commonwealth members. So anybody who is a part of the UK, overseas territories, dependent territories that's still connected to the Crown, they meet, they talk about democracy. That's what it's about. It's a learning opportunity. And particularly now, when you have new members of Parliament, it's good for them to go. They got into the entry-level courses about what it is to be a member of Parliament, what it's like to be a PAC, and rules of democracy. So they have a lot of conferences and so forth, but they also talk about the development of the Commonwealth as a holistic unit. And interestingly enough, I've been asked to be on a panel discussion about a motion that is significant. And I'm so excited. I really look forward to continuing my studies and research on it. But the motion is, should all colonial laws centered around human rights be overturned? Now, that's a mouthful there because what we're talking about is the human rights that all Commonwealth countries are signatory to through the UK. The UK has had a number of rights over the last 100 years, whether it's rights to freedom of rights for women to vote, refugee, rights to life, right to property. All of these surround a number of different treaties in different times, whether it's in the 60s, 70s, or recent in the late 90s. All of them is a structure upon which human rights are agreed to operate globally, but also particularly with the Commonwealth. So the UK is signatory to a number of those that we're obligated to. And we've been exposed in three main ways, and that has affected the Cayman Islands. And so it's worthy to give the viewpoint from the Cayman Islands perspective and how it affects us if there is things to be overturned. Because what we're finding globally in their discussions is that the human rights models and some parts of it aren't fit for purpose for different jurisdictions. And that may sound weird because human rights is human rights. But when your human right then starts to infringe on your culture, on your immigration policies, or on your finances, then people go, hold on for a minute. That's not fair. Like, for example, we have had problems with refugees from Cuba for decades now. And may the Lord continue to bless, and I pray for them and make sure their lives are in a better place. But I do, as an MP and as a representative of the people, do recognize that there's a cost associated with that legal obligation to take care of them when they come here. And it's difficult to explain to my people I represent to say, I have to spend $1 million on them, but my people are hungry or need jobs, need their roofs fixed, needs their roads and their housing and so forth. And that's because of some of these human rights that we're signed up to, some of these treaties for refugees that we're signed up to, which are based on the human rights components.
And of course, Nigel Farage, populists have said, if they ever get control of the government, that they're going to remove the UK from many of these, international obligations.
Correct. So I think that's where the spirit of this discussion is happening. As I said before, the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association discussions, they have the annual one every year, and this is the big boy. So people from all over the Commonwealth will be there, leaders and so forth. Myself and the Honourable Leader of Opposition, Joy Hugh, will be going, but I've been asked to join the panel, and I'm looking forward to that. But the point is that I think the reason why this has come up now, and I bound to think there's probably going to be hundreds of people in audience listening to the comments on this, is because the UK themselves are facing this problem. And you can do any Google search on refugees and immigration in the UK. There's like 5 different viewpoints on it, and they're having struggles with it. But that's just the immigration component. There's other parts too, which is rights to citizenship. The human rights component also taps into that. And I'll show you how. Many people know that the justification for many people getting the right to become Caymanian at year 10 was based on legal advice that if a person has been in the Cayman Islands after that period of time, from a human rights perspective, right to life, right to our jurisdiction, is based on these principles rights. So in the Cayman Islands context, many Caymanians would say, listen, I don't mind how long you stay here. As long as we got job opportunities, you're not impeding on a Caymanian, we just don't want you to become a status holder, a Caymanian. But we're not allowed to do that. Before, back in the day, people would be here 40 years and still not get Cayman papers. And we were quite comfortable with that until we were pressured into having to give them a avenue to become a Caymanian.
Right.
And much of that was based around, again, these human rights perspective. So you can see how it affects Cayman. So that's 2 ways. The other way is cultural impacts. And I'm not going to open up this door about religion, but it's the one that most people are fully aware of. So we have our constitutional rights. We got to go?
Yep.
Okay. I'll talk about that last one and the impacts of it when we get back from the break.
Okay. We're going to take a commercial break. Please stay tuned for the record with MP and Deputy Leader of the Opposition, Mr. Kenneth Brian, will continue after this short commercial break.
Shipping to the Cayman Islands is fast, reliable, and seamless thanks to Cayman Airways Cargo. Need it faster than ocean freight? Cayman Airways Cargo offers multiple cargo flights to Grand Cayman from Miami weekly, so your packages, whether big, small, or in between, will arrive in no time. You can even use a Cayman Airways Cargo US address for your online shopping. Cayman Airways Cargo is also the only carrier providing air freight services for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Contact us today and see why Cayman Airways Cargo was voted as Cayman's best cargo and logistics company in the Best of Cayman Awards. For details, visit CaymanAirways.com/cargo.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite Band-Aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. Don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you. From cookware to stereos, from power tools to plumbing supplies. Yeah, we got the best goods with the best price and a service to make you smile. Kirk's Home Center, we got a great deal in store for you.
For the Record with ORRETT Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. For those of you who are just joining us, our guest in the studio is the Deputy Leader of the Opposition, Mr. Kenneth Brian. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Mr. Corner. And right before we went to the break, I was just informing the public of a Commonwealth Parliamentary Association conference that I will be going to in October, myself and two other members of Parliament, one being the Honourable Leader of Opposition. And I'm going to be tasked with having a panel discussion about the topic of should all colonial laws centered around human rights be overturned? And I think before I finalize the third impact that I'm concerned about for Cayman in respect to the human rights components, make sure I clarify that I do not think they should be overturned. But I do think that we have to recognize there's some impacts on overseas territories, other colonial countries, that a all-in-one encompass approach may not be conducive for all jurisdictions. And I'm happy to be involved in this analysis, in this overall review, because I think that's why they're doing this. They want to hear whether everybody that's a part of this colonial approach are all on the same page, and obviously they're not, hence the reason for the panel discussion. So from a human rights perspective, for over the last 200 years, I would say that most 98% of the human rights approaches have all been in good favor. And by all means, I'm not suggesting that the human rights should be overturned, because it's a very broad question and subject area. But I think what it's trying to do is open up the scope of discussion about whether or not there are some things that one right can override the other and have a negative impacts. And that's what we were just reviewing before. And I was giving examples of how these rights may have cost effects on jurisdictions that cannot afford it, but you're obligated to do it, like the refugee situation. And then I also went into the immigration component about a person being a citizen in a location for an extended period of time, that the interpretation that we were advised is that if after a certain period of time, a person, if you don't give them a right to citizenship, or at least a path to apply, that they can become automatic Caymanians. I don't agree with that, by the way. Just want to make sure that's clear. I see other jurisdictions doing it without giving away their rights. I don't know why we can't, but it seems to be we are afraid to challenge. And I'll say that again. If I was the leader of this country, I don't care what the AG tell me. I'd say go to the Privy Council and tell me that I'm obligated to do that and overpower my jurisdiction. But again, I'm not the premier. If the Lord sees it his way, maybe one day. And then the other component was the cultural impacts, which is an example of that was our Christian position about certain acts that were overridden by changes by order in council. For example, the same-sex partnerships legislation, which I think as a country we've kind of surpassed that and thankfully still live in harmony. But I'm only using it as an example of something that some of these obligations that we're signatory to through the United Kingdom that change our way of life. I mean, we were agreed to by the UK with a constitution that outlined our Christian heritage, but the Constitution just got overwritten because we're signatory to it. So, and I'm not going to sit here today and talk about whether that's right or that's wrong. That's the point I'm trying to make, is that there is things that are culturally impactful and legislatively impactful based on these obligations that sometimes we don't agree with. So the debate about whether they should be overturned or not is going to be different based on different jurisdictions. So it's affecting us, and I give 3 examples of how it's affected us that I'm aware of within the last 20 years. But other jurisdictions are having other problems as well. So I'm going to be having that conversation. I hope to, once the conclusion of the panel discussion, I hope to learn more about it and come back and give a viewpoint of what I heard and what I learned, and exactly what is the Commonwealth Association plan to do with that panel analysis and conclusion, and whether it's going to make its way to Parliament in the UK as a viewpoint of the other jurisdictions' feelings about the things that they're having. And again, I'll close by saying this. I think this discussion is now coming up because the UK themselves are finding themselves in a situation whereby, boy, they don't want to adhere to these rights that they're signed up to, but they're obligated to. And you have leaders saying that they would withdraw from these obligations if they were in power in the UK, because they're starting to feel what many of my Caymanians were feeling, to say, why are we spending millions of dollars on refugees? Not saying that it's not morally right. God, I'm a child of God, and God expects us to take care of people when they're in need. But our moral compass is also to take care of ourselves before we can take care of our neighbors. And that question of subjectivity, whether we can afford to take care of others, is what sometimes comes into question. And I think that's what the UK is facing. When you have a deficit and you got other priorities and obligations, but you're spending money on something where, hold on, why should I be obligated to that? Particularly when it's not warfare-related refugees. Sometimes people are now becoming just economic refugees, and they just want to get to a different jurisdictions, and they hiding under the scope of a refugee of economic means. If you're not in harm's life way, I think the moral obligation is different than it is just for money's sake. I was born in Cayman when my good people that built this country was born here, and they were mosquito-ridden. They couldn't just say, I couldn't run away to somewhere else because the economic circumstances in my country weren't good. They went out to sea. They worked hard and suffered the consequences and built their nation back to where it is. So anyway, I'm not going to go much further into that, but that's just some information for us all to consider, and I'll come back to talking about that when I get back. The other thing that I want to speak about was the cruise tourism stakeholders. Now, I know that the Honorable Deputy Premier was on the show the other day. I did try to send in some questions, but I know their topic was about the trade job fair, trade for tourism workers. I'm happy to hear that they're doing that. I have a level of skepticism in respect to whether it's going to be as fruitful as they may try to portray it to be, because I've done exactly what they said they're doing. We did a 2-day event. We did it right after we were trying to reopen the country. Same situation
with
CETA.
Tourism, CETA?
With
Okay.
CETA.
Okay.
And like the whole sign up, I wanted to ask the question, and I didn't want to impede. I did call in, but I guess it wouldn't be appropriate for me to take their time at that time. But why is it that people have to sign up before they come? There is circumstances where I see that the minister did say that just come and I'll help you sign up there. So I'm glad they made way for that, because that is a deterrent for many people. Go, hold on, if I can bring my resume, whether it's electronically on a USB or on my phone, why do I have to pre-sign up? And I know the reason for that is to try to get as much data as possible, but do it at the location. You're hindered by sending that signal. I said the same thing when I was minister. It's like, no. They can sign up when they get there, but don't send out this message, or you have to sign up beforehand. Because most people be like, this sounds like this is all planned.
Maybe a deterrent.
It's a deterrent, right? And so I'm happy they're doing that. I'm just not sure if it's anything different. And I was quite disappointed, I must say, with the Minister Michael saying that we've only pushed for frontline jobs before bartenders, servers, and housekeeping. And that's ultimately not true. And I think he should retract that statement the next time he come on radio, because that's an indictment on the whole tourism department. and ministry. And the Honorable Strand Bowden sat here, and I sent him a message and said, you should correct that, because that's an indictment on you. Now, obviously, nobody wants to say anything. I'm comfortable to talk because we spoke about accounting, IT, management, all the other areas. Because to be honest with you, in hospitality, you have a job that no matter what you do, even if you do nursing, the hotels need a nurse. So you can get into hospitality no matter what your skill set. I mean, probably other than, I'm trying to think of something that, stocks and bonds trader. Maybe you can't be a stocks and bond trader in hospitality, but almost everything you do can be transferred to the hospitality industry. So, and we've been saying that before. And if he wants me to send him articles and publications when we've done so, but to say that that's never been done before would be actually not true. So I'm happy that that's happening. I think that is today. Today is part of it. I think it's a 2-day event.
It's the 8th and the 9th.
Of next week, that's
yes,
right.
Next week.
Yeah, I'm thinking Tuesday, Wednesday. So I encourage persons, the tourism industry is going to have jobs available coming up. We have 2 major hotels coming online very, very soon, with a third and a fourth within the next 2 years. So there's opportunity there, and I will continue to encourage persons to be involved. I know, regardless of what the minister may want to tell you, there's many training programs across the Cayman Islands through the department, through UCCI, through the DART program, where you can get involved. So don't fall for the trap of saying that we are not investing in it. And that's good politics, but it's a lie. So I encourage you to try to get yourself prepared to get involved and work with the ministry in respect to trying to get in. I think majority of where we're having problems with tourism jobs is the enforcement of the immigration law. And I support the minister in saying that we have to have better data sets. And it's not working in silos. He's correct in that, and I encourage and support any kind of linkages of information, whether it be education, scholarship secretariat, CETA, work, all working hand in hand to develop a policy. So I wish him well with that, and anything I can do from an opposition perspective to support him, I'd be happy to do so. Lastly, I want to send a big shout out to Minister J.E. Banks. As you know, Georgetown Central Park is going on well and almost in completion. For those of you who are interested, if you drive through the area, you'll see that substantial work has been done. And I must say, Jay has been like top-notch minister. He didn't make politics get in the way. He said, Minister, we agreed with this, and this is a great thing that we wanted to do from before, and I'm going to get caught up in the politics. And any answers or questions I had for it, knowing that I'm the one that started it, he's been there to assist and told his staff to help me in any way. So I'm really grateful. Also that I heard when the first comment I heard when I came on the radio was to do with Hearst Road and that roundabout. I can say this, that Minister J is trying his endeavor best, particularly with that road, to carry it through to the east, to alleviate traffic, to open up areas within the corridor to have more housing availability for Caymanians, and even open up access to Caymanians who have land there, but it's landlocked. So there's Caymanians who are going to benefit from that as well. So I want to say that I support you, Minister J. I encourage you to keep at it, and I hope your government and colleagues will give you the necessary monies within your budget to deliver that road, because that's what it's going to boil down to, Mr. Connor. So outside pressure on the administration, that when the budget comes, that's one of the first things I'm going at, because I know that we cannot alleviate some of the pressures that continue to be a problem from housing, traffic, security from a hurricane emergency perspective, and many others, growth and development of the country without that east-west arterial. So I encourage you to fix that and support him in that.
Okay.
And when we get back, I'm happy to take calls.
We're going to take the commercial break, and one of the first questions, the phone lines will be open. We see that the NCC has called for government to reconsider an alternative to the east-west arterial. And my question to you do you believe that they feel that they have a more sympathetic ear in terms of the government now? Why they are
happy to answer that when we get back.
Why they're making that request. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Shipping to the Cayman Islands is fast, reliable, and seamless thanks to Cayman Airways Cargo. Need it faster than ocean freight? Cayman Airways Cargo offers multiple cargo flights to Grand Cayman from Miami weekly, so your packages, whether big, small, or in between, will arrive in no time. You can even use a Cayman Airways Cargo US address for your online shopping. Cayman Airways Cargo is also the only carrier providing air freight services for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Contact us today and see why Cayman Airways Cargo was voted as Cayman's best cargo and logistics company in the Best of Cayman Awards. For details, visit CaymanAirways.com/cargo.
When a hurricane hits, unexpected costs can add up fast. Homeowners are usually out of pocket for these costs to get supplies or make minor repairs. But with Cineco's parametric coverage, you get automatic payouts within 2 to 3 weeks after a Category 3 or stronger storm, whether or not you have damage. Available only through Cineco Homeowners Insurance. Call 949-8101 or visit Cineco.ky for a quote. That's Cineco.ky to get a quote today. Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
As a parent, I know I would do anything to protect my child against cancer. As a Minister of Health, I know that the HPV vaccine is the best protection available against HPV-related cancers. The vaccine is safe and is being offered free of cost for 9 to 25-year-olds across all 3 of our islands. For more information, contact the Public Health Department on 244-2648 or 244-2889.
The Lions Club of Grand Cayman is proud to continue to serve our island community. The club continues to host successful community projects like the Prostate and Colon Cancer Awareness Campaign, free site screening in schools, spelling bee, swim meets, and their community pantry. The Lions Club of Grand Cayman looks forward to continuing their service for many years to come. The Lions Club of Grand Cayman, where there's a need, there's a lion, serving the community for over 50 years.
For the Record with ORRETT Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back. Welcome back to For the Record. We're on the last leg of the show. 10 minutes left to go in the show. We have a caller on the WhatsApp. We're going to take that caller in a minute. But the question from the studio was the call by the National Conservation Council to reconsider the route for the east-west arterial. And do you believe that that call has been made now because they possibly may have a more sympathetic ear in government?
Interesting that you put it that way, as into what's the difference between now and before. And obviously we have a different premier, which is led by a different party, the TCCP, which is, I think it's generally accepted that they're more pro-environment and a level of extreme protection for the environment. And the National Conservation Council's job is to, at all costs, regardless of what it is, protect the environment. And that strain of the viewpoint between the two is obvious. And I think that even the Premier himself has accepted that there needs to be a better balance between the environmental protection and the growth or the necessary growth and development of the society. And that now leads us to the road discussion and the necessity of that road and which route is more financially friendly or environmentally friendly or a mix of both. So obviously the National Conservation Council has a viewpoint, and I think it's fair to say that their viewpoint will be based on purely environmental viewpoints, as opposed to maybe a less costly, more economically friendly and efficient way as to what it was proposed from our former members like Mr. Gilbert McLean when they gazetted the road back in the day. And I think the B1 route, which was the original route compared to the B3 or B2, which seems to be more in line with what the National Conservation Council wants to avoid, or to line it up with avoiding the National Trust land. So that's something for the government to deal with. I don't know if they're going to get much sympathy. I know where the Honourable Minister Jay feels in respect to it, and it boils down to the ideological approaches to what do you think is preferred and not preferred in respect to the road. But what is even a wider question that needs to be asked, Mr. Corner, before we go to that next caller, is how are they going to resolve their campaign commitments with two different governments who have two ideological different viewpoints? The National Party campaigned on making amendments to the National Conservation Council legislation, which is very controversial, but that's what the commitment they gave to the people who voted for them. And the TCCP is the total opposite. So I'm interested and I'm very closely watching how they're going to handle that, and the National Party's commitment to the people that supported them. And I won't go down to the deep details as to which people I'm talking about, but they know what I'm speaking about, and hopefully we won't have to go down that road one day. But how are they going to go about that commitment to make changes to the National Conservation Council compared to the Wayne, the Andre, the Kathy, the Miss Heather, who is a part of the party, who is on the extreme opposite of that, to say they will not do anything to the National Conservation Council? So I'm planning to bring some questions and potentially emotion on that to see where they're going to lay their hands on it, because what they've done is presented this position to the public, and honest opinion, my view is that they're trying to be deceitful with the public, because now that they're married at the hips, how are you going to present your position to the public and those people you campaign for when you have ideological differences? But I'll take the call now.
What's up, caller? Good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hello, good morning, Mr. O.C.
Hey, morning.
Morning. Good morning, Mr. Rambo.
Good morning, Mr. Bryan. Mr. O.C., in 3 minutes, please. First of all, now, I called in. We'd have the both doctors on, Ms. Markfield and Ms. Teresa. And they had the deputy governor and premier. So my input or feeling out this sweet spot in the first 100 days regarding to the herb topic. You know, I can elaborate more on it at a time, but I watch the body language, right? Simultaneously when we're on the phone. And how they go that. Hit the beat now. A law enforcement, police constable, jump on a vessel, on a boat now, and haul his ass, right? All the win, all the jurisdiction. So I want to know in Parliament, the 19 MPs collectively, I don't hear no exemption or rejection of it, because you know what, when the premier were on, and deputy governor, I was telling them, after 3 weeks now, President Trump, he reclassified as Schedule 3, the herbs. So that they make it now parallel with the Department of Justice and DEA, Drug Enforcement Industry. Okay, give me a moment and a half on Mr. O.C. Kenneth, I'm a person I read now, right? But there's an animation issue or venture now. Skeptical doubts that we have to check right? You see, this tomorrow, like, no, I'll be in tomorrow here in Jamaica outcome. That next door to us.
Yeah.
All right? I feel that now. But listen, there's a dictum now, right? A journalist dictum of not word authoritative observation now. You understand? So, there's always egocentric mentality who you feel they with. But here the beat now is self-centered. You understand? You preparing as a realtor, real estate, whatever, agent. That's my business. Right? Whenever we were in construction in the past, we getting downsized, we prep and prepare. You understand? Like they have tendency to know that I say we want fifth or quarter, don't want ppm in power. They want that as a flat line. But I support I would have. You feel me?
Yes, my brother.
So it always escapades as a joke in a mischievous happening. But I wrap up now, I'm so seeing it different now. There's a different we need a capital inflows of alternative revenues, right? In that with deficit, this and that. And when it comes to recognize the Cayman connections, trace the birth certificate in the descendants of the family. That's a priority. You understand? That's a priority.
Thank you, my brother.
That's essential. So can you do your thing? And like I said again, my philosophy, one day at a time, tomorrow's our day.
Amen.
Thank you. Thank you,
thanks,
Rambo.
bro.
Thank you. Thank you. Ms. Susan, any other call on hold? One more caller. That will be our last caller because we only have about 2 minutes left to go in the show. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning.
I'm doing fine. How's Mr. Bryan doing?
I'm well, sir. Thank you for asking.
Yes, I will. Always have a lot of respect for you, regardless of what has been said or what has been in action, but I respect you a lot.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I just want to bring to both of you guys' attention this morning. We're talking about so many different things, but I crossed by the Eats Cafe recently, and I noticed, I do it quite often actually, the building next to the Eats Cafe, is that a university or something?
I used to at one point house, and I'm not sure if it's the case right now, but location for the medical school. I can't remember what they were called again, but international medical school, and some of the units were leased for that. I don't want to speak too much to it without updated information, but yeah.
Okay, so I just want to identify the building. That's the main purpose I'm asking. I wish both of you guys would just have a little time to circle that area to see what's happening there with these big boulders. They are blocked off everything from Eats restaurant. It is so, in my opinion, so mean to see what's happening there. If they have an explosion or a fire into that place, I am really saying that a lot of people are going to be damaged seriously, if not dead. Where is the planning? Where is the fire department that these people, whoever they are, can just... I mean, it is absolutely disgraceful what they done to that place.
Is this to the front of the building or to the back? Because I believe that there were always boulders.
It's between the plaza and... and
yeah.
Because what happens is that people go up and drive their cars up there and park on the in between the grass here because it's almost close to the road. And I saw the boulders. I think they're doing that as a way to stop people from doing that. And I'm interested to see the viewpoint of the caller in his concern. But I do think that the property owner would still have the rights, even if it wasn't boulders, they could have put up a fence or hedging there. They've been living harmoniously over time, but I'm assuming the landowner might have just been fed up now and don't like the way the structure of people using the property. And I'm not sure what we can do. But if it's not visibly attractive, is what you're saying, or a security concern?
Put it this way. I am saying that the property owners have these security guards, dime a dozen. Why they have to go to that extreme about whether somebody's parked, and they don't have no lawn there. Under that tree is nothing but big roots. It is just, in my opinion, just a mean act that they're doing. If somebody goes there from Eats restaurant, vice versa, I'm sure some of the other people come over from where they're living to go to Eats restaurant to get something to eat again.
Yeah.
I am saying to gentlemen, you know what's happening? These foreign people that has come into this island, they are showing us how it go, as the Jamaican would say. We're not showing them how it go. They're showing us how it go. It is time that we flex the muscles and say to whoever you are, regardless of where your financial status, you need to respect the wishes of the Cayman Islands. We don't live this kind of way, gated communities and all this kind of garbage. It is really disgusting, gentlemen, to see what's happening to this island. And all you can hear about, you got planning and you got this and that, while they do as they see fit.
Caller, thank you. Thank you very much. We've gone way over our time now, and I still want to give Mr. Bryan an opportunity for some closing comments as well.
Thank you so much. I'll just quickly say to the caller that I think there's a difference between legality and morality. And that's one of the problems that we're having as a country as we grow, because you can't legislate morality, or you can, but the things that are not a legal requirement. You expect us from our cultural norms to be that way. Yes, a Cayman way would be, no problem, we can work together. But I don't necessarily think this has to be a foreigner, because I'm certain that the stakeholders involved in that building, some of them are Caymanian, if not all. And it's a changing tides. And I think Jim Borden said this when he was alive, that with growth and opportunity comes some of these negatives. And I'm paraphrasing what he said. I'm going to find a quote one day. But this is what happens with the growth and development and the benefits. You want nice fancy cars, internet, and the best of the best. Comes with some of those problems, and our moral compass is changing. Yep. With that being said, thank you so much, Mr. Connor, and thank the listening public. Hopefully you've were informed a little bit about some of the things I said today. Mm-hmm. I love each and every one of you. May God bless you. Have a wonderful day, and I look forward to coming back on the show, hopefully next Wednesday.
Okay, and folks, have a great day as well. Welcome you to join Mr. Charles Glidden at 12:15 for a talk today. And as usual, we ask the good Lord to continue to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. Doctors Hospital, peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. And Cayman Airways, call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. Kirk Market, experience a world of choice. JN Money, from abroad to Yad. And Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
If they are talking about us,
living in your head rent-free all this time,
we must be